Okay, hello you crazy people out there, this is DragoniteSpam and welcome back to this tower defense game. Let's see, so what am I doing? I was putting down these towers, and I think last time I set them so that like you can't put them down on top of paths or other towers or something like that. And this time, I did want to get around to like difference in type for towers. And to do that, I'm going to have to probably change a few things that I didn't... Why is there source control in this project? There should not be source control in this project. Like, seriously, why are there these, like, error source control messages here? Alright, screw that. Just pretend these question marks aren't there. Anyway, what was I saying? I'm going to probably have to change a few things that I had working the last time, such as the way towers are created. Given that I'm going to need to be able to create, like, different types of towers, I should go and get around to, like, making buttons to click on that you can use. So I'm going to make, let's see, just another rectangle sprite, really. That's, I guess, button, like, green. That's going to blend in with the grass. What color should I use? I guess I'll just go with white. Anyway, let's see. I really should think these things out before I start recording if I want to ever get anywhere. I'm just going to draw that, and I'm going to give it an outline only, so that it stands out a little bit better against the grass. Okay, so this is the button, and it's going to be centered like the rest of them, or yeah. And next I'm going to go and create an object, and what do I want to call this? I'm just going to go with clickable button and call it that. And it's going to be assigned the sprite of this thing, and I'm going to go and first stick some in the room, and I can go down there, right? I don't see why not. Now let's just move it out a little bit more over there. And then these clickable buttons are going to do various things. Most of them are probably going to be for creating towers. Others in the distant-ish future might be more related to like restarting the game or exiting the game or going to a different level or something like that. But I'm going to worry about that later. And let's see. I don't know why I closed this room editor, but I'm going to be going into the creation code, I think, and setting a couple variables. No, I'll do that later. First, when you click on mouse released, you should generally go with mouse released for like click events. It makes it harder to accidentally click on something. I'm going to go write some code, and let's see, I'm going to go and move over from, where is it? Global left press and controller. I'm going to go and move this over here. Let's go and comment this out for now. I'm not going to delete it just in case, but commenting it out so it won't ever happen. Let's see. There's two ways I could do this. One I definitely like better than the other, but it's kind of more long and weird to explain, like in recording, and I don't know if I want to do that right now. I guess I'll do that in a separate video. I guess I can do that like in a video in the future or something, but when it comes to buttons, or when it comes to these things anyway, there's a couple of things that you can have them do. Let's see, in the room creation code, I'm going to define, I talked about these once earlier, but this isn't a new. These were added in, I think, relatively recently in GameMaker Studio. They're basically built-in enumerated constants so that you can like write down values, like first... and I need to give it a name. I'm just going to call this constants for now. But you can just write down values like this for second, third, fourth, whatever, and they will automatically have variables. They will automatically have values assigned to them. Rather, you can, if you wanted to, manually assign them like this. But it kind of defeats the purpose of having enumerated constants. But anyway, I'm going to make an enum, which is going to be all the different things that the buttons can do. So I'm going to call it button actions. And the first one is going to be create tower. The second one's going to be like, I guess, quit or something like that. And if I ever come up with other things that a button might do in the future, I'll add them there. Now, if I were to go into the instance creation code for this thing, I'm going to give it a variable button type equals button actions dot create tower. That is what I called it, right? Because I wrote it all of 30 seconds ago and I already forget how it goes. I need to close that, don't I? Oh, come on. Wait a minute. Why is it telling me this is a reserved word? Is this... Oh, this was down here. It says obsolete constant button type. This was a previous version of GameMaker variable, so I can't use that. It's still recognized by the runner for like backwards compatibility purposes, but it doesn't work anymore. And I can't, unfortunately, use the name. So I need a new... I need a different name for this variable. I'm just going to go with type. Okay, so the button's type is going to be a button actions dot create tower. I did spell that right? Because I feel like I didn't spell that right. There we go. And anyway, when it comes to accessing members of enums, they're global by like default. They can only be global. So when you define them once, they're defined everywhere in the game, and you don't need to say like I don't know, object controller dot button actions dot create tower. And when you want to access the individual variables constants inside them, you just use dot notation like with any other object. So those are enums, and now this is clickable buttons mouse event, which is where I want to be. I don't want that. I'm going to say switch type, and I'm going to set up a couple case statements in here. Case button actions dot create tower. I'm going to fill in the programming in that in a minute. The other option right now would be quit game, and this is fairly easy. All it has to say is a game end without that punctuation in the middle. I should clear off my desk a little bit. There's like stuff on my desk and it's getting in the way of my hands and making it hard to type. Harder than usual, I mean. But yes, all that's going to do is quit game. I might just go and stick a red X in the corner or something that quits the game when you click on it at a later date. Anyway, create tower. Let's see, this is essentially going to get just moved over inside here. So it's the same code that's running, but it's just going to get moved from one location in the game to another. Let's see. I can still place towers, like I can still create towers on top of invisible walls, right? I just can't put them down. I might want to change that. Let me think about this. Okay, so this doesn't need to happen at all because it's impossible to be both clicking on a button and like over a tower at the same time. Because I'm also going to be scattering around a couple invisible walls down at the bottom of this screen over here, so that like you can't create towers behind the buttons or anything like that. Let's see. Let me do that right now, in fact. Okay, for now the bottom of the screen is completely inaccessible as far as like sticking buttons down go. And why is my computer having trouble recording? Alright, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but like starting today, it doesn't want to record anything. And I don't know why. Anyway, so there's a button down here, and you can't place any towers over that. That does make it so that there's kind of a limited space over here on the bottom, and you can't get too close to the end. But that's really just maybe a design decision that I should change sooner or later than a technical one. So let's see. I'm going to get out of there. No, I'm not going to get out of there for a second time. I do still want to go on down here. Come on. Oh, come on. These are now in the way of what I wanted to do. All right. Game. So I'm going to move those out of the way for now. And creation code, I'm going to say tower type equals just tower. And now, where is it? Okay, in the buttons, left press event, it's going to create, instead of like exactly this object here, it's going to create whatever, no, not type, tower type. It's going to create an instance of whatever object is contained in this variable that I assigned it in the creation code. And okay, that time I did not want to go into the room editor and I opened it anyway. I'm really on the ball here. Let's see. This should now be doing exactly the same thing that it was doing earlier, just in a somewhat different organization sort of thing. So I have to click on the button instead. And after this, assuming it works the way I do want it to, I'm going to have it write down like the tower's name and default cost and stuff like that. So let's see. This has crashed the game. And let's see, the left pressed event for the button, if following equals no one. Oh, okay. I need to set, these are still the names of the variables that would belong to the controller object. So I would need to set, sorry, I would need to use this. I might as well make these global variables. Let's see. Yeah, I might as well make these global variables, but I don't really want to. The other thing I could do is take the cost variable out of here and assign this to the tower objects, the button objects rather, also, so that they all have to like cost a different amount. The better towers will cost more and whatnot. So that's not what I wanted. Tower cost equals, I'm pretty sure it was 10, and I'm going to get out of there. These are all, again, kind of global program variables, like, and I don't really need to worry about those. And now I'm just going to rename that tower cost. Let's see, this should also be controller.following. What the heck, I'll define these global anyway. So global.following. For those of you who don't know, I assume most people know this, but the global keyword is basically a special object. It doesn't have really events or anything to execute, but if you want a variable to be, if you want a single variable like currency or whatever to be a constant throughout the entire game, you can assign you can assign it to the global object to make things easy. And what did I do for that? It was currency and following. So these two. I guess I could do oops. I guess I could do that for like round lives and everything else too, but I don't really want to spend a lot of time in this video refactoring code. Anywhere else that I kind of accidentally, maybe not accidentally, have used, have accessed the controller's variables and other people's events or code or whatever. Controller.currency. This should be global. Okay, towers left released, as in when you click on them. I think this is like the follower variable also. Come on, open. The find and replace tool is very nice. Alright, indeed, this is... Okay, so here's a slightly different problem. So I can't access the cost variable from a single object anymore, because every button has a different cost associated with them. So what I'm going to probably have to do is... I did deal with these, right? Okay, yeah, those are a different matter entirely. I'll go and make all of those other variables global in scope off recording or something like that, because I don't really think anybody wants to see me doing that. But over here, I'm going to let the tower know that has been created over here how much it costs. Global.following.cost equals tower cost. And that way, over here, when it's put down and it actually deducts the money, let's see. I am going to need to still be able to access this this exact object for a minute, so I need to reassign following to no one later. But now instead of controller.cost, I'm going to subtract global.following.cost, because that is now what this variable is, which is how much the tower costs. So I'm going to run the game, and it should work a little bit better than it did the first time I tried to run it. And And as soon as I say that, I get another error message, which is telling me that the controller is now trying to draw a variable on the screen, which it does not have anymore. These are global variables, once again. Okay, to avoid any more confusion, I'm just going to go and rename all of these variables to make them global in scope, and I'm just going to edit it out of the video. Excuse me a minute. Alright, even better. Instead of using the global keyword, what I'm going to do instead, once again, as you can see, I'm very well prepared over here. I'm going to basically just define the name itself global. So if you use this keyword, global var, it kind of takes this a step further and says that any variable anywhere at all in the program with this name is going to be automatically global. So that goes for round lives, currency, following, wave, really any variable in this program at all. Enemies remaining. I'm going to leave wave count alone for now. No, I'm not. I'm going to make that global also. Alright. So all of these variable names now, anytime I use them anywhere in the program, they're going to be the same copy of the same variable. So I can go and get rid of anywhere that says this sort of thing. Let's see, let's get out of there. And let's delete all of those. And all of these. Alright, I don't want that information. Close that. Anything else that I might have missed? Oh, here. Okay. Alright, so all the variables that used to belong to the controller are now global variables. This is basically just for like handling events and stuff like that. Global left pressed. Left pressed. I'm probably going to get rid of this event by the end of this video, but for now, just in case for whatever reason I want to come back to it later, I'm going to leave it there. I don't imagine that I will, but you never know, and it's better to save code and delete it later than delete code now and need it later. Alright, so it did not crash on load this time. I can create a tower. I can't put it down over here where the invisible wall is. I can put it down around here, which is about where the invisible wall ends. And I'm like clicking anywhere on the game thinking that I'm getting like 10 frames per second. This is ridiculous. What's going on? I'm not writing to the disk or anything. I mean, I am, but not that much. Alright, so awkward cut there because my computer is still being stupid and not really enjoying letting me recording anything. Anyway, I can click on this button here to create a tower. I can go and place it down about here. This is about where the invisible wall ends. And you know, I still can't place it down anywhere that I couldn't do before. Let's see, I'm just gonna stick that there. That's not gonna like hit anything almost. Is that all I wanted to test? Because if you're watching the Windows clock at the bottom of my screen over here, I was away from programming for like 5 whole minutes and I don't remember what I was doing. Hopefully the recording issue should be cleared up. Anyway, I'm just going to sit here and watch it for a minute or two, and I am not in the habit yet of clicking over on this button to create a tower instead of just like clicking anywhere, at least not yet. This video is like getting kind of long and I still haven't done anything as far as differences in kind for the towers go. Anyway, I think that's it, because there isn't anything else coming and that's the end of wave 2. Alright. Also, I kind of was tipped off by an error message that popped up right when my recording like stopped working, but this remove lives script apparently still uses this controller object like access, and I'm just going to go, okay, it looks like there aren't any more of those in the entire program, so I don't have to worry. Okay, So that's cleared up. I should like label these buttons too so that you know exactly what objects they create, but since I'm kind of tired of not working on actual like tower things, I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to go and make a folder here called tower types, and that's going to obviously contain all of these things. I don't want that. I wanted to instead duplicate this and assign the original tower to be its parent object. And I think I've talked about inheritance before, object inheritance, but I'm not sure. In any case, tower fast, I guess this is going to fire like faster than the regular tower, but it's going to do less damage, is the usual trade-off. Let's see, is there anything that I need to do over here? I should change these variables, so I'm going to make attack 1 and rate 2. Rate is the number of shots per second, is it? Or is it the number of seconds between shots? Because I don't remember how I implemented this. Alright, room speed divided by rate. That's going to be the number of shots per second. And I should probably put a comment over here saying exactly what that is. Let's see, number of shots per second. Alright, and is there anything else I need to change? I'm going to, let's see, I don't need to like initialize any type of cost variable over here because that's handled in the buttons. I feel like they should be. I feel like the cost should be dealt with over in these tower objects, but never mind. Can fire as true, activated, selected. This is all stuff that happens in the original tower object, the parent tower object, and because you don't really want to duplicate code like that ever, you can tell the object to execute its parent object's event. Normally, if you have one object inherit from another and they both have code in one event, the version of the event in the child object is going to be the one that runs, and it's going to override the event from the parent object, as the computer scientists like to call it. But it is possible to go and tell the game to execute the parent object's event anyway with this event inherited function. And that's just going to basically initialize all of these variables, and down here at the bottom, I'm just going to change the ones that need to be changed. And even since the range variable is the same as it is in the parent tower object, yes, I would. I don't need to go and change anything in that either. Actually, wait, I need to go and get rid of these also. This I don't need. It's going to inherit because it does exactly the same thing. This I don't need right now. Yeah, this is going to be the exact same thing that happens in the parent tower object also. Left released. This is just placing the tower down. Again, don't need that. Draw GUI. Don't need that, and the regular draw. Alright, so the only thing I need to change is the creation event, which is where it sets up its variables. Okay, so now that I have that second tower object, I can go and add another button. So a clickable button, and it's going to have pretty much the same code as the other one, except instead of tower type being the regular tower, it's going to be tower fast. And the cost, I'll make it 12 because it has the same damage output, but it does fire faster, which could work to your advantage in some situations, so I'm just going to make it cost a little bit more. Anyway, regular towers on top, the faster ones on the bottom, so I need to keep those straight. If this works, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to go and like label them and make the towers like slightly different in appearance so that you know which is which, but that depends on this that depends on things working first. So this is the regular tower object, going to stick it down there. This is the faster one, going to stick it down here. And I honestly can't tell if one is faster than the other. It looks like they're about the same speed, so alright, one, I'm seeing recording issues again, which I'm very, very unhappy about, and two, it seems that they're about the same speed, which suggests that they're actually creating the same objects instead of different ones for some reason or another. And let's see. I'm going to move those out of the way. What's the creation code? I did remember to... Okay, so I did change this. And... how about this? So that I can tell them apart. I'll give them different sprites later, but so that I can tell them apart. Instead of drawing its range with a black circle, I'm going to draw this tower's range with like a red circle or something. And that will help me tell them apart. Let's see, if selected, see red, and then reset the color not to white, reset the color to black at the end of that, because that's what it's supposed to be. Alright, let's have a look at this again. Okay, so here we are. Regular tower, and... Okay, so this is the new one, so in that case, why is it not shooting faster? I did set the fire rate, didn't I? Oh, I didn't set the fire rate. I looked at how it was implemented, and I forgot to change it, so I need to make it 4 shots per second instead of 2. And, alright, crisis averted. I thought there was, like, some, like, tiny detail that I overlooked way in the beginning that was screwing everything up that was going to take, like, a day and a half to find and correct. But no, just forgot to change a variable. Now, if the game could run, alright, regular and fast. And as soon as the wave starts, they're right next to each other, so they're going to be kind of like a benchmark. Yeah, this one's definitely firing faster now. Alright, I can close out of this, and the recording lag is really becoming ridiculous. And I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, while I'm here, I'm going to create a couple more tower types. I can go and delete this, for one. Yes, I would like to get rid of that. I guess also I'm going to go and create kind of an opposite, so tower slow. And let's see, I closed out of that, and I didn't want to close out of that. I've been doing that a lot today. It does not help. I'm sure this is going to look absolutely horrible, the way that these windows take like 5 minutes to open up when I click on them, but I really need to get this recorded because I've been wanting to do this for like 3 weeks now. In tower slow, attack is going to be, how about 4, because I think that was double the default, and the fire rate's going to be 1 shot per second. And to compensate, since that's going to be slightly disadvantageous, rather, I'm going to make the range a little bigger, and default range was what? 100, right? Or 120? Default range is 120, so I'll make the range for a tower slow like 150. Range equals that. Rate is 1, and otherwise this is going to do exactly the same as, it's going to be really the inverse of tower fast. I need a button, so again I'm going to duplicate this creation code, and again, because it has the same damage output but this time slightly higher range, I'm going to keep it at a slightly higher cost than the default tower. Alright, tower type equals slow. There we go. I can put these invisible walls back, at least for now, because I don't need to get to the things underneath them. I can close out of there. I can close out of here because I don't need that open. And before I run it so that you can tell them apart, I am going to go and create slightly different sprites for each of the different tower objects. Let's see. I'm going to stick them in a group folder as well. Alright, so I switched the color of the tower and the tower mask so that the tower has a lighter blue color. And there's higher contrast with the letters, the fast and slow letters I put on them. And since that would have made them invisible against the light blue background, I made the light blue background a green instead. I don't know, I guess it resembles grass or something. I could have sworn that was what I was going for originally. I don't know why I used blue. Anyway, let's get out of there, and I also want the buttons to be drawing the name of the towers that they're representing. So I'm going to go into draw, and no, I'm going to change that to cancel. I'm going to change that to draw GUI instead, because it's ideally at a fixed location on the screen. Let's see, first, do I need draw self if I have code in the draw GUI event? Because I know you do if you if you want to draw the sprite and you're using the draw event, but I don't know about the new one, so hang on, let me go and find out. If this computer can stop lagging, that would be fantastic. Alright, so it doesn't look like you need it. You don't need to worry about draw sprite, or draw self rather, if you're using the draw group event. Okay, so I can get out of there. And again, oh my god, this is awful. Alright, I'm going to finish this video as quickly as I can, and then I'm going to go... I would say I'm going to go murder my computer, except that would probably make the problem even worse. I'm going to copy and paste this switch type thing so that different things are going to happen depending on which button type we're talking about here. So if you're going to quit game, I'm just going to draw the text right next to the button. I don't have a button that actually does this yet, so not going to worry about that. Draw text x plus 20, y, quit game. And if we're dealing with a button here, I'm going to draw the text instead of object get name tower type. And this is going to return the name of this this object itself that's stored in this variable, whatever that happens to be. So tower fast, tower slow, whatever. And I should probably also draw the cost next to it, or under it, or something like that. So I'm going to say y minus 8, draw the tower type, and y plus 8, draw the cost. And that will look like this. If you're trying to concatenate a string and a number value, you need to cast the number to a string with this function, otherwise it's going to crash. Other languages can do that implicitly, like Java and whatever. But unfortunately, GameMaker is not one of them, and you need to cast the real value to the string value. Anyway, I'll be back in 5 years as soon as this thing finishes running. And it crashed. Oh, cost. The variable is named like tower cost or something, isn't it? Isn't it? Alright, tower cost, that's right. Take 2. Alright, so they're a little bit off-centered, and I'm going to change the... Oops. I'm going to change the alignment, probably off recording, but you can see this one's a tower, this one's a fast tower, and this one's a slow tower that I'm going to stick over there. And this one does indeed have wider range than the other ones. Let's see. A lot of them are missing, which is a shame. I'm going to game over in a minute. And I game over. Alright, perfect. I just wanted that to happen. I'm recording at exactly 1 frame per second right now. So I don't think there's anything else that I really wanted to do in this video, and I can now go and see if there's a family of mice living in my laptop or something. But that is differences in type for tower. In the next part, I'm thinking I'm going to do more like exploding bullets and whatever, like cannons or something like that. Or maybe bullets with a burning or poison effect that slows the enemies down over time. But for now, as always, a link to download this project file will be in the description of this video. This is week 7, I believe. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Watch some of the stuff I've uploaded, and I will see you all later.